show me your friends and I'll show you your future, right? If you've heard that quote, you probably know that it relates to the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with is who you're gonna become, right? If you hang around a bunch of losers or a bunch of smokers, over time you're gonna become one of them, right? And the reason I'm making this video is to show you guys and tell you how important it is to surround yourself with people who are going to constantly bring you up and not always tear you down, right? In life, the most important thing is surrounding yourself with good, wholehearted people who are always pushing for more, right? And that doesn't mean cut off your old friends from, middle school, but what it means is that if you want to go far in life, you're not going to get there by surrounding yourself with low-lifers who aren't doing anything with their life, right? For example, my friends are absolute killers. I have a friend who's making $25,000 a month from YouTube Shorts. I have my business partner who's also my best friend. We're both doing over $20,000 per month through our businesses, and we're continuously growing, and so are my friends, right? And the people I know, the connections I've made, and the connections that are here to come, right? If you take yourself and surround yourself with good people or successful people, you will become more successful. I like to use this example to compare it to, right? And Andrew Tate said it best. If you surround yourself with a bunch of ice cream makers, people who are just in the ice cream industry, they know the best and most about ice cream, you surround yourself with them every single day, or even once a week, eventually you will start to become an ice cream master. And it's very simple. If you use this formula and you multiply it with your life, you will become more successful. And look, I get it. Some of you have friends from middle school, high school, maybe even elementary school, who you don't want to give up their friendship, right? Because you do love them, right? You've been close with them for multiple years now. And maybe they're not doing anything with their lives. And this is a super tough position to be in. And I've been in that position. Not everyone's going to be constantly pushing towards greatness or to be more successful, right? And, success is relative to everyone. But depending on what you want to achieve in this life, if you have someone who just kind of sits around, doesn't do much, and just kind of does with, nothing, and you're continuously spending time with them, of course you're not going to grow. Most likely they're going to bring you down, right? If you have friends or people that you consider friends who don't congratulate you or, make you feel good when you achieve something great, and they just kind of almost bring you down with it, that's someone you need to cut off, right? And I've experienced this firsthand, and cutting them off about, I'd say 90%, was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I used to continuously spend time with, said person multiple times per week. And then I started to question myself. I started to say, why am I not growing? Why am I stuck at the same position? Or why am I feeling so down, right? Although I'm still achieving good things. And like I said, it ties down to being stuck with a friend like that. And so, kind of removing yourself and placing yourself in a new environment is one of the best things you can do. I've said this multiple times, putting yourself in a new environment can be one of the best things you can do as a human, right? All it takes is a new environment sometimes. And if you do that and you want to become successful, I highly recommend going out and meeting new people in your space, people you love, people you want to be around, and just watch. It's like a snowball effect. It will start to come into play. You'll start to become more successful and you'll start to do good things, right? I have other friends. I have a friend who's a barber making over $1,000 a week, and he's my good friend. He's been my friend since elementary school. And I continuously, talk to him because he's achieving greatness, right? He's pushing himself for more. And I have multiple friends who are doing the same. And then I have other people in my life who I don't really hang around. I don't really keep myself or surround myself with them, but they're still doing just nothing with their life. And right now it's about 10 a.m. on a Thursday morning. I've got my coffee. The main reason I built this YouTube channel isn't just to get the most subs, the most views. It's to hopefully change someone's life and provide some sort of value. And that's the reason I'm on social media, right? Even if I help one person a day, if not one person a week, I don't care how much it is. If I could just help some people out over a continuous time span, that's greatness to me. That's success. I don't really care about the money as much because the money is just a side effect of doing what you want to do. And another point I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about is you can't just become, attached to the money. If you do so, if you want to start a business and your entire goal is to make the most amount of money possible, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be very dull. And I used to be in this position. When I first started my businesses, I was so attached to, the Lamborghinis, the fancy watches, everything that's materialistic. And that was all I cared about. I thought, give me 3 years and I'm going to have that stuff. And that was my main goal. But now my main goal is to build, an empire, build something that I'm proud to say is mine, and, help people along the way, inspire them, change their lives. That's the main reason I do what I do. And, most people that I know, they're in college right now. College and school is starting up for just about everybody. And, they sit around, they do their thing, And that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to college. And to be honest, I think college isn't for everybody. And that's of course not, but I didn't want to do that. And if you're watching this video and you don't want to do that either, but you have parents who are maybe a little bit more traditional, they want you to go to college, they think that that's kind of the only route you can take if you want to be successful, it's going to be super hard for you. And I've been in that position, right? My dad, super successful entrepreneur, very supportive, but he's a little skeptical of me running online businesses because it's not traditional for him. And he did want me to go to college, but he knew that I would still do good without it, and I'm going to do great, matter of fact. And I think if you're not going the traditional route that maybe your parents or your friends want you to, and you have that self-belief, you have that mindset that you're going to do something great, as long as you stay consistent and do what you feel is true to heart, you will make that happen, and you'll become the best version of yourself as long as you have a long-term goal. Long-term goals are one of the most important things you could have rather than month-to-month goals. Because if you have a long-term goal, it's going to satisfy you much, much more rather than making $10,000 a month, right? You could set yourself for, $5 million in 10 years, whatever it may be. Set a long-term goal, surround yourself with good people, continuously build yourself to the best version possible, get 1% better every single day, and most importantly, be happy.